All right, BTV tales for tonight. The other night, Taryn, who is my artist for my Oracle deck, she invited me to see an evidential psychic medium visiting from the US. And it wasn't at a function place or, somewhere public. It was in a private home. And I said, what like I'm still learning shit, right? And I said, what's an evidential medium? Blah, blah, blah. She said, oh, he produces objects from his mouth. And I went, huh? My mind has been blown. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know how he does it. Is it like an illusion, like a trick or something? I don't know. I don't know. But he even said, for those who are dubious about what I'm about to do, I'm even going to eat a banana. So when I do produce the stones and the gemstones and whatever from my mouth, if I have actually swallowed anything, then it'll come out with it, and it'll be quite gross, right? And we were like, yeah, okay, fine. And I just went, what? Like, what? The only person that I've heard do this is a beautiful lady called Helen Duncan, and she was back in the 1940s. And she used to produce ectoplasm. And that ectoplasm, and it's not like goo like you see in Ghostbusters, it's almost like a gauzy white sort of smoky material. It would form the actual body or face of the person that you were trying to connect with. And she was very accomplished back then. She only did it privately as well, and I so get why now. And this is part of the whole story. She did a reading at a home, and the son of one of the mothers came through, and the mother was like, oh my God. The son was in the war at the time, away at the war at the time, and had come through Helen, through this ectoplasm, however it works, to say, Mum, everything's all right. I've died in the war. Next week, you're going to get a message from the office, and the priest is going to come along. You know how they used to do that? They used to go to the person's house. I'm telling you now, so you're prepared, start grieving now. But please know I'm safe. Everything's great. And they had a great conversation. And okay, good. So the next week, when the people from the office and the priest came to her home to say, your son has passed away, she went, it's all good, I already know. And they were like, how? So she told them about Helen Duncan and what she did. So at this point, the police get involved because the people in the army office and the priest were like dead against it, of course. The police said, well, you're going to put on a show for the town. So they hired out the local hall. Helen gets up, she does her thing, starts apporting. It's called apportation, as I've said. It started apporting a dead bloke. Some stupid woman in the front row starts screaming, and the police rush the stage to get to Helen because everyone's going, wah. Poor Helen, while she's producing this ectoplasm, gets such a shock from the police rushing her, she has a heart attack and dies on stage. So she is my hero. I don't follow many mediums, but she is definitely one that I just adore and look up to. And the other two for me is Gordon Smith in the UK and also Tony Stockwell. Well, now I'm going to add Mychael Shane to that list as well. This bloke that I've got the video. He said we could film it. He's like, I've got nothing to hide, film it. So I filmed it. We all did. There's probably about 30 of us there. And he produced gems, and I got two. And I'm going to have them set in jewelry settings, a ring setting and a pendant setting. But I'll show you that in a minute. So, and he said, for all of the mediums sitting here tonight with me, when people ask me, especially mediums, how do you evolve? How do you make better your gifts? I always say, become an evidential psychic medium, because there's not enough in the world. And the ones that we have, a very small percentage, are the best. The rest are charlatans. And he said, it's as simple as that. He said, I I can't say it any clearer than that. There are some bad and some good, like all industries, there's good and bad. But he said there's not enough good ones in the world. And he said it's a pleasure to teach this. So I'm very curious, but you've got to be in the US to be taught, you know, in front of him how to produce this stuff. I want to do it. I sort of, my dream in time, technology, is to have a chip implanted just behind my pineal gland, which is the third eye. So when I'm in session or I'm on stage, because the plan is obviously I want to be on stage, is so when I'm talking to you from the stage, that chip is showing on a screen behind exactly what I'm seeing. So you get to see your dead people, you get to see the images I'm seeing, you get to see your future through my third eye up on the screen. So this is Mychael Shane. This is him producing, and Taryn got to take the gaff, because he's all gaffed up, like he's completely gaffed up, take the gaff off his mouth. And she said it was really weird. Up close, there was like this pale pink sort of smoke that came out first. And then you just see it, all these, and I'm dubious. Trust me, I'm so fucking skeptical. I am skeptical. Yeah. I want to see it more. Put it that way. I want to see more of this. I want to see more. But here we go. Let's play it. I'm going to put the sound on. Let's make sure the sound's up. Yeah. I'll tell you more about it once you see it.
Just here, like this, not too tight.
On the table, they can take pictures while they're on the table.
Hold on, I take them on the table, and then you can take pictures.
Yeah. It was wild. It was crazy. Here's a photo of them laying out all the stones.
Okay.
Just them laying out the stones that he produced.
You have 1,000 Smurfs in your head poking you with needles.
Well, it used to really when I was in those drag days, wasn't I?
It's just fascinating. It was fascinating. So I was fortunate enough. So and everyone got something. Everyone got something. So they started at the top of the room. Me and Taryn were right down the back. So it was like a big U shape of chairs. We were like right down the back. So they started, and I know some of you going, ew, you took it from his mouth, but it just goes out the window. When you're in front of this bloke, it just all, I don't know, right? I know everyone's going, oh, Mel, yeah, whatever. But the messages that came through are really, really incredible. Like really, yeah, something he said about me, Taryn and I were like, oh my God, what? There was a lot of what moments that night. Trust me. Even I was like, you're kidding me. So to cut a long story short, this is my gem. Can you see it? It's all perfectly cut. It's already cut to go straight into a ring. It's like, I don't know. Fuck it. I don't know how he does it. I don't know if you can see it that well. I quite like the color. There we go. And then everyone's got their stone, big and small. And the stone is correlated to an archangel. And my archangel for that stone was the archangel Israel, not Azrael, Israel, like the country, Israel. And I have Googled him. Apparently, he was the father of John the Baptist. And he had a very beautiful message for me. And then we all sit back down and he says, okay, so I have to say this because that's what he called me. And he says, oh, when I went up to get this, he says to me, you know, you need to know something. And I'm like, yeah, like I'm ready, like hit me with it. Fuck. He says, you are the reincarnation of an archangel. And I went, what? Me? Little me from Guildford, really? He said, you are. Like, I didn't say that, but he said, you are. And he said, I need you to get Gustav Davidson's book, the Angel Dictionary, including the fallen angels. I went, yeah, I'm a fallen angel. I know I'm a fallen angel. I'm fucked, right? And he says, go, and he looks up and he's like, he says, go to page 23. The first angel on that page is you, reincarnated. And I just was like, fuck. Okay, cool. Went back to my seat. We all sit down. And then he says, oh, I need the angel-eyed girl again. So I said, oh, fuck. Okay. And I've walked back up. And he says, this is also for you. And he said, not sure whether this is an amethyst or a pink diamond, but he said, I would like to think it's half and half. Yeah. And there it is. Ooh, it's so tiny. It is so dear to me. And he said to us, that we have to have these on our persons at all, well, not at all times, but he said, here's the rule. We've seen them disintegrate into nothing when people aren't careful with them. And he said, if you go home tonight and you go to sleep with your partner, you have to have it tucked into your brow, tucked into your jocks, because it could get their energy on it and you want it to be your energy. He said, definitely, a minute to midnight and a minute after midnight, it has to be on your body, on your heat. I'm like, okay, cool. So I just came home, snuck in. Teresa so lovingly made up the bed for me all nice and lovely, and she was sleeping nicely there. So I'm like, yes, great. I just climbed in, had it tucked into my bra, hopped in, slept, woke up and went, wow, what an experience. So I've ordered the book. I am dying to know what angel I am on fucking page 23. I'm praying it's a nice one. Oh, and that last amethysty pinky diamond thingy, that was from Saint Germain, who's an ascended master angel, blah, blah, blah. And it's really funny. I don't really bring angels through in sessions and stuff like that. And it's like, no, I'll leave it to the other psychics to deal with the angels and blah, blah. I'm thinking maybe now, is it because like I'm one or I was one or whatever? I can't get my head around that, but it was nice to hear that. It was pretty freaky shit. It was pretty freaky shit. But I'm really happy with my little present from the angels. And you know, me and Teresa, me and Taryn, we were like questioning it going all the way home, like how? And it was funny because before he did the apportation, we all wrote questions on a piece of paper for him to answer for us, and everyone got their questions answered. And on the back, we had to put our numbers, like our most favorite number, so we could recognize when it was our number and our question being read out, because privacy and all of that. He had 2 coins put on his eye, gaff tape, an eye mask, and then a huge black blindfold tight on his, and one of the people in the audience did that for him. And then he'd pick out from the basket, he would pick one out, like all that on his eyes. He would hold it and he would say to his assistant, is this 7, 12, 18? She'd go, yep. And he would say, okay, the answer to your question is blah. And I'm like, how? Me and Tara kept going, how is he doing this? How is he doing this? It was nuts. I was allowed to go up and check that little tent that he was in, to make sure there were no like hidden gems or stones or anything like that. And yeah, I know there's going to be some comments after. I know there's going to be comments. Go for your life. I'd love to have a laugh as well. I'm fascinated by it. I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to learn from him. I want to do it. I want to do it. And then we heard about from Taryn's friend, there's a bloke that's coming out soon. She's going to make sure we're on the list, where he produces the ectoplasm, and in the circle that he does, that he conducts, you actually get touched by dead people and hugged. This lady said, I know, right? This lady said that, you know, the hug that you get, you can tell who it is in spirit, your loved one, you can just tell by the hug who's hugging you. I'm like, oh my God. And she said he produced faces, hands of your loved ones. And she said, we were welcome to go up and hold the hand. And she said, for some of us, the hand came around and hugged us. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to be there. I have to be there. So yeah, pretty intense night. I didn't get home till like 11:30 midnight, but it was awesome. My mind was blown. That's some kind of phenomena within this spiritual realm that I have never experienced firsthand before. And I have to say, I quite liked it. I was pretty impressed, pretty fascinated with that, especially with these two little gems or stones, whatever you want to call it. Someone will probably, that's just cut glass, mel-colored, man. I'm like, yeah, whatever, fuck off. But it was pretty interesting to watch, I have to say. Gee-biz. That was your BTV tale for tonight. As always, I love to take you beyond the veil. And love, there's nothing but.